Hello, welcome to Lazada Insider, featuring knowledge that makes a difference. We share trusted insights, forward-looking perspectives, and exclusive expert interviews to keep you ahead of the curve.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Lazada Insider Sustainability Series. I'm your host, Katrina from Lazada. Climate change is accelerating, and the urgency of moving away from fossil-based system to more renewable energy sources is clear. And the businesses, they have a critical role to play in this transition, especially for companies in Southeast Asia region. So today we're very happy to welcome Rod to share some insights about embarking on this journey to clean and green energy. Rod is the head of solar solutions at ENGIE Southeast Asia, and he comes with almost 15 years of extensive experience in solar energy space, working in projects across Europe, South Africa, and APAC. So first of all, Rod, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks, Katrina, for having me here.
Great. I would love to hear more about you and your experience to start with. Could you tell us a bit more?
Yeah, sure. So again, thanks for having me here. I'm Rodrigo, heading the solar team for ENGIE South East Asia. And we are providing solar solution for both government and private clients across the region, in particular in Singapore, Malaysia, Philippines, and Australia.
As I mentioned, there are many environmental issues actually confronting Southeast Asia today. So in your opinion, what are the most pressing ones today?
Yeah, so indeed, I think there are two main challenges that we are facing. One of them is the urbanization, and the other one is the heavy reliance on fossil fuel to power and generate energy.
And, we will actually focus a lot of our discussion today on energy transition, decarbonization. Why do you think this topic is particularly critical for Southeast Asia region?
Yeah, so putting an example of urbanization, there are some studies that suggest that by 2050, 70% of the Asian population will be living in cities. So that's massive population density. And we need to have a better use of the energy that we generate. A problem that we are having in the cities is what we call urban heat island effect. And this effect is when buildings emit heat in order to cool themselves, the surrounding buildings need additional energy to keep cool. So that is a challenge because increase the energy demands, and again, we need more power to cool the systems. By 2040, we should expect that we will need an additional 200 gigawatt of capacity to increase the cooling demands. So basically, the region is in a vicious cycle where the urbanization is powered by fossil fuel, but at the same time, we need more energy to keep the growth. So the only solution is to break this cycle is to decarbonize the region.
We start to see a lot of involvement from private sectors in joining this force of energy transition. Why is their involvement so important for decarbonization? And what do you believe the key action areas should be?
It's clear that the private sector are going to play a key role, but they cannot achieve it by themselves. So we need the support of the governments to set a clear roadmaps and put in place some regulation that allow us to come up with a solution in order to decarbonize the region. I would have to say that Singapore is a very good example about how the government can implement these kind of initiatives because they have launched the 2030 Green Plan, and have a very clear roadmap about what they want to achieve. So, for example, in terms of solar, they want to install additional 2 gigawatt of rooftop capacity. They want to increase the EV charging infrastructure by installing more than 60,000 EV charging points. And in terms of taxes, They want to incentivize those companies that are worried about the climate effect, and they are increasing up to 80 Sing dollar per ton. So those actions are very clear, and it's up to the private sector to fulfill the and follow the government. So further down on this, I want to comment that, for example, ENGIE is proud to be involved in these developments, and we are partnering with companies in Singapore to support this initiative and installing EV chargers, going through energy efficiency, installing multiple rooftop projects. So yeah, very proud of this achievement.
I mean, collaboration is very important across different sectors, especially when it comes to decarbonization. And it's great that you share that ENGIE is part of this. And you have already seen, working together with private sectors on a lot of projects to tap on the roadmap of Singapore's overall green plan. So
Indeed.
I guess when we talk about private sector, being financially sustainable is as important as being environmentally sustainable. So what is the business case for private sector, particularly Southeast Asian brands and SMEs, to take active steps to address the climate emergency?
Yeah, so again, here in, for example, is the case of Singapore, but as well other countries are following them, and the regulation nowadays is ramping up and allowing more to put in place more of these sustainability solutions. So, for example, it is a key for companies to reduce and take over the control of their energy use. So a good example is by installing solar panels. It can help you to reduce the energy consumption, the energy bill, but at the same time you reduce your demand from the grid. So that allows you to have control over what you can, how can you control your energy. And then obviously we have been talking about taxes. So acting proactively and go through decarbonization solutions will allow you to mitigate these taxes that the government are imposing for those companies that are not really supporting these initiatives. An example, for example, how ENGIE can support companies is our power purchase agreement that allows them with zero upfront cost to achieve the target. So there are mechanisms to put in place that they are not so difficult for in terms of heavy investment on by the private sector, but it has an impact.
I think that's a very clear business case for private sector to act on this. And you have extensive experience working with clients across industries for energy transition projects. So based on your interactions with all these business clients, what are the top 2 to 3 challenges, I would say, that Southeast Asian companies face during the decarbonization journey? And what would be your advice to them?
Indeed, there are many challenges, but if I have to pick two, it will be where to start. So there is always a dilemma. Okay, there are so many solutions out there, but it's difficult to focus and choose where to start. Again, solar is a good example because it's a very proof technology that can be deployed very easily and quickly, and that has a real impact on the cost savings and to reducing the CO2 emission. And the other one is to select the right partner. Again, there are multiple companies, but sometimes we see that during the bidding stage, they price themselves very low, and later on, because wherever they don't have the financial capabilities or the technical solutions to deliver the project, client sees in a very difficult position because they cannot go ahead with implementation.
Especially this area is relatively new, and in terms of the understanding and the skill sets, right, from company perspective, they really need a lot of help from independent partners. And on the flip side, if you say, looking from the positive side, what are some of the positive surprises or opportunities that tend to emerge in decarbonization?
I have to say that more and more we see private sector very committed to decarbonize their assets. I can put some examples, but we are collaborating with universities to decarbonize their campuses. Uh, we are deploying in Singapore and Australia more than 20,000 solar panels to support the universities to achieve the sustainability targets. Another good example is, for example, in Philippines, we are working for remote areas to provide stability on the grid, on the energy supply by installing solar together with battery storage. And they are working as well. We are working as well with large supermarket chains, and it's a combination of facility management, but as well we are providing EV charging solution. We are providing battery storage, and as well as solar rooftop solution.
Yeah, I mean, it's really across different sectors that are, everybody is starting to act on this. Maybe let's discuss a bit more about ENGIE. And you also already mentioned quite a few examples. But I'm very curious to know, what are some of your most recent innovations or developments in low carbon solutions?
It's a difficult question because we have been encountered great partners in our journey here. But if I have to choose one, I will say that we have world lead medical supply and solution in Malaysia, that he's really committed to decarbonize their assets. And we have signed a partnership for 15 years where we are supplying different technologies, but mainly is solar, chill water, ice water, compressor. Again, is a solution that ENGIE is providing as a zero upfront cost for the client. So it does not require a huge investment for them. But at the same time, we are helping to design the decarbonization roadmap. And the target is by 2030 to reduce the CO2 emissions by 40%.
Maybe let's end today's conversation with an inspiring case. Could you share with us one very inspiring, successful customer story?
Yes. So for example, we have another partner in Philippines that through that partnership we are looking at multiple solutions. So again, solar is one of them. But we are supporting the local communities. We are supporting the cities in reducing the CO2 emission with district cooling. And there are many more projects to come. Basically, is a nice partner that worries about the climate change that we are facing, but at the same time we are supporting the local communities.
Great. Thank you, Rod, for the great sharing. I mean, there's no doubt the energy transition will continue to unlock a lot of growth in the coming years. And for companies and for our audience here, starting to jump onto this bandwagon now is certainly critical for owning a share of that growth. Yeah. So with that, thank you, Rod, again for joining Lazada Insider and sharing your insights and experience with us. Thank you.
Thanks for inviting me. Thank you, Katrina.
This is Lazada Insider. We hope you enjoyed this episode. Make sure you click follow and subscribe so you don't miss our latest insights and expert interviews. Thanks again for joining us. Until next time, take care.